A massive chain reaction crash triggered by severe winter weather has led to the complete shutdown of Interstate 80 in southwestern Wyoming. Authorities describe the situation as active, dangerous, and still developing. The incident took place on Tuesday, February 17, 2026, near mile marker 18, between exit 6 at Bear River Drive and exit 34 at Fort Bridger, close to the Utah state line. The closure stretched across more than 20 miles of one of the country's primary east-west freight routes. The Wyoming Highway Patrol reported that at least 2 major crashes and several smaller collisions happened almost at the same time, with more than 24 vehicles involved, including a large number of commercial semi-trucks. Drivers on the scene described complete whiteout conditions, where blowing snow eliminated visibility within seconds. The combination of powerful winds and heavy snowfall made it virtually impossible to drive through that stretch of highway, turning the road into an impenetrable wall of white. "It was just a whiteout," said Amber Gossard, a driver who found herself in the middle of the pileups. Emergency response teams, including Uinta County Fire and Ambulance and the Wyoming Highway Patrol, rushed to the scene and worked under hazardous conditions to rescue trapped drivers and begin clearing the wreckage. Multiple injuries were reported, according to WHB spokesperson Aaron Brown. As of Tuesday evening, no deaths had been officially confirmed, though the severity of the crashes raised serious concerns about potential fatalities. "Crews are working to save lives and clear the road," Brown stated, underlining that emergency personnel were operating in an extremely dangerous environment. This event was not isolated. It was part of a broader series of crashes linked to an ongoing and relentless winter storm system. On Tuesday afternoon, a separate 40-vehicle pileup was reported near Arlington, northwest of Laramie, also involving multiple commercial trucks. Meteorologists confirmed that the entire I-80 corridor between Evanston and Cheyenne was experiencing whiteout conditions, powerful winds, and severe black ice. The Wyoming Department of Transportation announced that there was no definitive timeline for when the interstate would reopen. Westbound lanes were initially expected to remain closed for 5 to 6 hours on Tuesday evening, but officials strongly urged all travelers to avoid the area entirely. If you're traveling or planning to travel I-80 in this area, please consider delaying your plans or finding an alternate route, the Wyoming Highway Patrol stated. The incident underscored the extreme dangers posed by I-80 during Wyoming's winter months, especially in high wind zones where blowing snow and black ice create treacherous driving conditions. In a later update, Wyoming Highway Patrol announced a revised reopening estimate, stating that I-80 between exit 6 and exit 34 was expected to reopen at approximately 4 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Meanwhile, Uinta County Fire and Ambulance confirmed via social media that crews were actively responding to the multi-vehicle pileup at Milepost 18. To address the emergency, the department deployed 5 ambulances, though officials had not yet disclosed the number or extent of injuries at that time. The Wyoming Highway Patrol noted that they had responded to numerous crashes along I-80, with injuries reported in several of those incidents. Authorities urged drivers to stay alert, be ready for significant delays, and be prepared to stop if necessary, reminding motorists to slow down and move over whenever emergency crews are present. In Utah, the most powerful snowstorm of the season brought high winds, heavy snowfall, airport delays, and widespread road closures. For approximately 30 minutes, all flights were grounded at Salt Lake City International Airport while a plow truck cleared the runway, a first for the season. According to an airport spokesperson, residual delays were expected to continue into Wednesday afternoon as snow kept falling. Airport officials later confirmed 17 flight cancellations and 18 diversions. Passengers were advised to check their flight status directly with their airlines or at slcairport.com. The Utah Department of Transportation issued multiple warnings throughout Wednesday regarding snow-covered roads and strong winds affecting areas from Roy to Lehigh. Whiteout conditions are possible and visibility can drop quickly, UDOT cautioned. Valley floors across the state were expected to receive several inches of snow by Wednesday. By 1 p.m., Salt Lake City had officially recorded 1.4 inches of snow, ending a record-long streak of days without at least 1 inch of snow that had begun after March 18, 2025. The 337-day dry streak was considered a record in some categories, or just short of a historical record dating back to 1891, depending on how gaps in the National Weather Service's record book are interpreted. Snowfall totals were significantly higher at elevated locations. By 2 p.m., the Alta ski area reported receiving over 2 feet of snow in just 12 hours, bringing its multi-day storm total to nearly 3.5 feet and still accumulating. Traction devices were required in the Cottonwood Canyons, and an uphill travel restriction was put in place due to heavy congestion in both canyons. UTA ski buses were experiencing delays of more than an hour in both canyons. As of 1:15 p.m., Parley's Canyon was also reporting heavy snow and poor visibility, with UDOT warning drivers to proceed with caution as numerous slide-offs had already occurred. UDOT encouraged people to avoid the canyon altogether if possible. The National Weather Service issued several snow squall warnings for Tooele County and a large portion of southern Utah. Visibility is low and strong winds mixed with heavy snow can cause dangerous travel conditions, the service warned. The Utah Avalanche Center issued an avalanche warning at 8 a.m. Wednesday, covering the mountains of northern, central, and southwestern Utah, as well as southeastern Idaho. Forecasters noted that avalanche danger would increase in certain areas, as the ongoing storm was generating wind slabs and new snow avalanches. The Salt Lake County Sheriff's Office also warned backcountry recreationists to be aware of unstable snowpack conditions. The fresh snow in the Cottonwood Canyons has created instability in the backcountry and has increased the risk of avalanches. This winter has created layers within the snowpack that can be unpredictable, said Salt Lake County Sheriff Rosie Rivera. We want people to enjoy the Cottonwood Canyons, but safety must come first. When conditions are unstable, the smartest decision may be to avoid backcountry recreation altogether. In Cache County, Utah State University canceled all afternoon classes beginning at 1:30 p.m. due to the extreme winter conditions. As of Wednesday evening, the university had not confirmed whether Thursday classes would also be affected. Further south, the University of Utah did not cancel classes, but faculty and instructors were encouraged to move evening classes online where possible. A crash on eastbound I-80 in Tooele County led to closures in both directions. According to UDOT, the crash occurred at Milepost 80 in Tooele County, blocking traffic in both lanes. Initial estimates indicated the scene would be cleared by around 10:39 p.m., though that timeline was subject to change, and travelers were warned to expect significant delays. Utah Highway Patrol Lieutenant Cameron Roden reported that the crash involved a pickup truck towing a snowmobile trailer. Based on initial reports, the truck appeared to have been caught by a wind gust, causing the driver to lose control, though UHP was still working to confirm the exact cause. The trailer rolled onto its side and blocked both lanes entirely, though Roden noted that crews were actively working to reopen at least one lane as quickly as possible. The right shoulder remained open, and fortunately no injuries were reported in this incident. UDOT also issued a wind advisory for I-80 in Tooele County, with gusts expected to exceed 50 miles per hour from 8 p.m. Tuesday through 6 a.m. Wednesday. Across Utah's mountains, nearly 24 avalanches were recorded over a 24-hour period, several of which were determined to be human-triggered. The Utah Avalanche Center reported 18 avalanches on Wednesday alone, 8 of which were set off by people. This followed multiple warnings of escalating avalanche risk as winter returned in force, with over a foot of new snow falling across Utah's mountains. In the days leading up to Wednesday's storm, the Utah Avalanche Center had issued an avalanche watch, which was later upgraded to a full warning. Forecasters explained that heavy snowfall from the storm had overloaded widespread, fragile layers of weak, faceted snow that had formed during the prolonged dry period. This setup is well known for producing dangerous, unpredictable avalanches that can be triggered remotely and break much wider and larger than expected, the UAC stated. While ski resorts celebrated the fresh powder, several, including Alta, Snowbird, Park City, and Brighton, announced early closures due to avalanche hazards. Avalanche danger remained elevated through Thursday. Skiers and backcountry enthusiasts were advised to stay away from all avalanche terrain and to avoid being on or below slopes steeper than 30 degrees. Widespread winter storms continued to affect road conditions across Utah, from Logan to Cedar City. In response to deteriorating conditions, Utah State University announced the cancellation of afternoon classes at its Logan campus. The cancellation also applied to classes originating from Logan that were delivered to other campuses across the state. University offices and student services remained open, but supervisors were encouraged to work with staff to find the most suitable arrangements for their departments. Please take caution when traveling today and avoid travel if possible. USU advised in a safety alert. As the core of Wednesday's storm moved across the state, the Utah Highway Patrol reported a surge in crash activity. Lieutenant Cameron Roden noted that Summit County alone saw 35 slide-offs due to icy roads and 14 non-injury crashes. The Iron County Sheriff's Office volunteer posse, whose members work alongside deputies on various tasks, confirmed that units were out monitoring the storm. In a social media post accompanied by photos showing limited visibility and vehicles that had slid off the road, the team described conditions as pretty harsh due to high winds. Please have your headlights on and slow down, the posse wrote. Rain along the Wasatch Front began transitioning into snow that was sticking to valley floors. In Ogden, snow began covering neighborhood roads while slushy conditions started impacting I-15 in Davis and Salt Lake counties. Snow also began accumulating on local roads throughout the Wasatch Front. Intense bursts of heavy snow and strong gusts were expected to hit southern Utah as the winter storm continued its path through the state. A warning was issued for northeastern Washington County, as well as southeastern Beaver County and central Iron County, covering communities including Cedar City, Beaver, Enoch, Parowan, Bryan Head, and others. The National Weather Service described a dangerous line of snow squalls capable of producing blowing snow and reducing visibility to less than a quarter mile in a matter of moments. Travel was expected to become difficult on several Utah highways, including I-15, State Route 21, and State Route 56. Drivers were advised to consider postponing travel until the squall passed, and those who had to travel were urged to use extreme caution and allow additional travel time. Rapid changes in visibility and slick road conditions may lead to accidents, the National Weather Service warned. Many of Utah's ski resorts declared it a powder day, as more than a foot of new snow fell at higher elevations. According to Ski Utah's snow report, resorts such as Alta, Brighton, Deer Valley, and Solitude each received at least a foot of new snow over the previous 24 hours. Snowbird in southern Utah's Bryan Head Resort came close, reporting 11 and 10 inches of new snow, respectively. The winter storm moved more slowly than originally forecast. According to KUTV Chief Meteorologist Lindsay Storrs, the latest data showed rain transitioning to snow in the Salt Lake Valley closer to 10 a.m. rather than the initially projected 8 a.m. The cold front just decided to move a little bit slower than we originally thought it would, Storrs said. She noted that areas such as northern Weber County could expect snowfall within the following hour, while Utah County would likely see snow during the late morning. In higher elevations, heavy snow was already having a significant impact. Summit County experienced snow-covered roads, limited visibility, and multiple slide-offs. By 3 p.m., Storrs forecast hit-and-miss snow showers, with the most widespread activity expected from late morning into early afternoon. Wintry conditions also caused major traffic disruptions in southern Utah, where snow-covered roads led to slide-offs and reduced visibility. Near mile marker 54 on I-15, just south of Cedar City, a semi-truck slid into the median between northbound and southbound traffic lanes. The truck came to rest jackknifed in the snow-covered median, blocking the leftmost lane of southbound I-15. Utah Highway Patrol confirmed that this jackknifing incident occurred in the same area where another semi had slid off the road earlier that morning. After first responders cleared the first truck, the second one slid into the median. Mark Garrison with UDOT said crews were stationed on standby, actively monitoring conditions statewide and ready to deploy as needed. We are prepared and ready to go for this storm. Certainly, we have been waiting this season for it, Garrison said. He noted that because of the storm's extended duration, UDOT organized multiple crew shifts to provide continuous coverage. He also advised drivers to give snowplows adequate space to operate, to build extra time into their commutes, and to maintain generous following distances. Lieutenant Cameron Roden stated that the Utah Highway Patrol was not seeing widespread issues beyond the semi-truck crash near Cedar City. UDOT crews were also deployed in the canyons and the Wasatch back near Park City and Heber City, where snow had started accumulating on the roads. Traction laws were put into effect for both Big and Little Cottonwood Canyons, with UDOT reporting wet and slushy conditions in the lower canyon sections and snow sticking to the road in the upper portions. More than 28,000 customers in the Sandy and Draper areas of Salt Lake County woke up without electricity. Rocky Mountain Power first reported the outage at approximately 3:30 a.m. Wednesday. The cause of the outage was not immediately disclosed, with the company stating that crews had been dispatched to investigate. Rocky Mountain Power estimated that power would be fully restored by 12:30 p.m. At Salt Lake City International Airport, operations were temporarily halted moments earlier due to weather-related safety concerns.